The first step to becoming undefeatable is this: master yourself before you try to master the world. Most people are obsessed with controlling everything outside of them. They want to control situations, people, circumstances, even fate itself. And when life refuses to obey them, they collapse, they rage, they cry, they break. But the Stoics knew a secret. You don't need to control the outside world. You only need to control yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that for a moment. You don't decide if the world betrays you. You don't decide if storms hit your life. You don't decide if someone lies to you, leaves you, or hurts you. But you do decide how you respond. You decide if you stay calm or if you let anger eat you alive. You decide if you stand strong or if you crumble. That choice, that inner power, is where true strength lives. If you want to be undefeatable, you must shift your focus from "why is this happening to me" to "how will I respond?" Because response is everything. Life cannot break a man who controls his own reactions. The battlefield is not out there in the world. The battlefield is in here, in your mind. Look at history. The strongest men and women were not those who avoided hardship. They were those who turned hardship into fuel. They were those who refused to bow to their emotions. Pain came. They endured. Failure came. They learned. Darkness came, they lit their own fire. That is mastery. And here's the truth: most people are slaves, not to chains, not to cages, but to their own emotions. They are slaves to anger, slaves to fear, slaves to desire, slaves to jealousy. How can you ever be undefeatable if you are conquered by yourself? How can you stand unshaken if a single insult can burn your heart? If a single failure can break your spirit? To master yourself means to live with discipline. It means to say no to the impulses that weaken you. It means to stand calm when chaos surrounds you. It means to take control of your mind the way a warrior takes control of his weapon. Because if you cannot command your mind, you will forever be defeated by it. The world cannot break a man who has mastered himself. You can strip him of wealth, of status, of comfort, and yet he remains free, because his freedom is not in things but in his mind. His power is not in possessions but in his discipline. His strength is not in controlling others but in controlling himself. So I tell you, begin here. Stop fighting the world. Start mastering yourself. That is the foundation. That is the first law of Stoicism. And when you master yourself, the world will no longer have the power to defeat you. Master yourself, and you master the world. That is how you become undefeatable. If you want to become undefeatable, you must learn the art of turning obstacles into power. Because here's the truth: life will not go the way you plan. There will be setbacks, failures, betrayals, losses, delays. Most people see obstacles as walls that stop them, but the Stoics saw obstacles as fuel. They believed the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let that sink in. What stands in the way becomes the way. That means the very thing that tries to stop you can become the reason you rise higher. The challenge that appears to block your path can actually shape you, sharpen you, and make you stronger, but only if you choose to see it that way. The weak man curses obstacles. He says, "Why me? Why is this happening? Life is unfair." But the undefeatable man smiles at obstacles. He says, "Good. Another test, another chance to grow." He does not ask for an easy road. He asks for the strength to endure the hard road, because he knows diamonds are created under pressure and greatness is forged in struggle. Think about it. If everything in your life were smooth, easy, and comfortable, you would never grow. You would stay weak. You would stay fragile. It is only the storms that teach you how to sail. It is only the fire that shapes steel. And it is only obstacles that force you to unlock your true strength. So when life places a mountain in front of you, don't complain. Climb it. Climb it. When it throws you into the fire, don't run. Burn brighter. When doors close, don't cry. Build your own door. That's how you turn obstacles into power. Remember, every obstacle contains a hidden gift. Failure gives you wisdom. Pain gives you resilience. Loss gives you perspective. Betrayal gives you clarity. Each one strengthens you if you let it. The key is to stop seeing problems as punishments and start seeing them as opportunities. Look at the great Stoics. Marcus Aurelius led an empire during war, plague, and betrayal. Yet he became a philosopher, king remembered for his wisdom, not his suffering. Epictetus was born a slave, crippled, beaten, yet he rose to become one of the greatest teachers of freedom. Seneca was exiled, stripped of power, surrounded by enemies, yet he wrote words that still inspire strength today. What do they all teach us? That obstacles are not the end, they are the beginning of greatness. To become undefeatable, you must train your mind to embrace resistance. Instead of saying, "This obstacle will break me," say, "This obstacle will build me." Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How is this happening for me?" That shift in perspective changes everything. So stand tall, welcome the obstacles. Use them, transform them, because the undefeatable man is not the one who avoids obstacles. He is the one who takes every obstacle and turns it into power. Remember this: what blocks your path can become your path. What was meant to break you can be the very thing that makes you unstoppable. One of the greatest truths of Stoicism is this: you cannot control everything, but you can control yourself. This is the shield of the undefeatable. Most people waste their lives fighting battles they can never win. They try to control other people. They try to control the weather, fate, luck, outcomes, and the opinions of the world. And when they fail, they suffer, they break. But the Stoics discovered a secret that changes everything. Freedom begins the moment you separate what is in your control from what is not. Listen carefully. What is in your control? Your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, your choices. What is not in your control? The past, the future, the weather, the economy, the behavior of others, the way life unfolds. If you tie your peace to what you cannot control, you will always be defeated. Exemplification. But if you anchor yourself only to what you can control, nothing can touch you. Imagine a storm. The wind is raging, the sea is wild, the waves are crashing. A weak man screams at the storm, begging it to stop. But the Stoic does not waste his breath. He cannot calm the storm, but he can control his sails. He cannot stop the waves, but he can steer his ship. He cannot change the wind, but he can adjust his direction. That is the mindset of the undefeatable. Think about how much pain in your life comes from resisting reality. You want people to act differently. You want life to go exactly as you planned. You want the world to obey your expectations, and when it doesn't, you get angry, frustrated, heartbroken. But Stoicism teaches you this truth. Suffering comes not from events themselves, but from your refusal to accept them. Acceptance does not mean weakness. It does not mean giving up. It means strength. It means looking reality in the eye and saying, "This is the way it is. I will not waste my energy fighting what I cannot change. Instead, I will master my response." That is power. When you control what you can and accept what you cannot, you become untouchable. Insults bounce off you. Insults bounce off you. Failures don't define you. Losses don't destroy you. Because your peace is not tied to the outside world, it's rooted inside. And what is inside cannot be taken from you. Look at Epictetus. He was a slave, beaten, mocked, and crippled. Did he control that? No. But he controlled his mind. He chose not to be broken, and in that choice, he was freer than his masters. That is the power of Stoicism. So I ask you, will you keep wasting your energy trying to control the uncontrollable? Or will you rise above and focus only on what belongs to you? Your choices, your discipline, your mindset. The undefeatable man is not the one who bends the world to his will. He is the one who bends himself to reality, and in doing so, he becomes stronger than the world itself. If you truly want to become undefeatable, you must learn this lesson. Discipline must rule over desire, because desire is a trap. Desire makes men weak. Desire makes men slaves. The Stoics understood that the enemy of strength is not pain, it is pleasure. It is the endless craving for more, the endless hunger for comfort, the endless addiction to things that do not last. Most people are defeated not by hardship, but by their own appetites. They cannot control their hunger for money, for attention, for comfort, for pleasure. They chase every impulse, and in doing so, they lose their freedom. A man who cannot control his desires is already conquered. He just doesn't know it yet. But discipline is the sword of the undefeatable. Discipline means you command yourself. You are not a slave to impulses. You do not eat everything you crave. You do not say everything you feel. You do not chase everything that shines. Instead, you move with purpose. You live with control. You act, not because you feel like it, but because it is right. That is true power. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in the world, yet he warned against luxury, against soft living, against drowning in pleasures. Why? Because comfort weakens a man. Comfort makes you fragile, but discipline hardens you. Discipline makes you unshakable. Look around today. Why are so many people miserable? They have more than kings of the past ever dreamed of. They have food, shelter, comfort, entertainment at their fingertips. Yet they are weak, restless, depressed. Why? Because the more you chase desire, the emptier you become. The Stoics knew that happiness does not come from getting everything you want, but from mastering the need to want. If you want to be undefeatable, you must train yourself to endure discomfort, wake up earlier than you want to, work harder than you feel like, resist pleasures that poison your mind. Choose growth over comfort, discipline over desire, because every time you say no to temptation, you grow stronger. Every time you control yourself, you sharpen your sword. Ask yourself, are you a master of your body or a slave to it? Are you in control of your mind or do your impulses drag you like a prisoner? The undefeatable man is not the one who satisfies every desire, but the one who rules over them. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Understand this. Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like. Freedom is having the strength to do what is right, even when you don't feel like it. So if you want to rise above the masses, if you want to live as a warrior of the Stoic path, remember this: control your desires before they control you. Live with discipline, not with weakness. For desire makes men fragile, but discipline makes men undefeatable. Discipline is the fire that burns away weakness. Embrace it, and nothing can break you. If you want to become undefeatable, you must stop running from hardship and start embracing it as training. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort. They pray for an easy road. They try to escape pain, struggle, and challenge. But here's the truth: the more you run from hardship, the weaker you become. The more you avoid the fire, the softer you remain, and softness cannot endure the storms of life. The Stoics understood something powerful. Hardship is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire, faced constant wars, betrayals, plagues, and personal loss. Yet he wrote in his meditations, "Fire feeds on obstacles. The more it consumes, the brighter it burns." Hardship to a Stoic is fuel. It is not there to destroy you. It is there to train you. Think of a warrior. Does he become strong by avoiding battle? No. He becomes strong by fighting. Think of steel. Does it become sharp by lying untouched? No. It is forged in fire, hammered by pressure, and shaped by resistance. You are the same. Every hardship you face is a test. Every pain is a weight that builds your strength. Every obstacle is training for your soul. Most people fear suffering, but the undefeatable man welcomes it. He says, "Good, another chance to grow, another chance to sharpen my mind, my body, my spirit." He does not see hardship as punishment. He sees it as preparation, because he knows if you can endure suffering, nothing can control you. If you can remain calm in chaos, no one can defeat you. The problem with comfort is that it deceives you. It makes you think you're strong when you're not. It makes you fragile without you realizing it. Then, when life strikes, and life always strikes, you shatter. But hardship builds resilience. Hardship prepares you for reality. Hardship makes you unshakable. Epictetus was born a slave. He was beaten, crippled, insulted. Yet he said, "Difficulties show what men are." And he was right. Hardship reveals your character. It strips away the illusions. It shows you who you really are. Are you a victim who complains? Or are you a warrior who endures? To be undefeatable, you must train your mind to embrace hardship, not avoid it. Choose the hard path when others choose the easy one. Wake up earlier. Push your limits. Embrace discomfort. Don't fear failure. Use it as fuel. Don't curse pain, let it build your endurance. Don't run from challenges, see them as the gym for your soul. Remember this: muscles only grow by resistance, minds only grow by struggle, spirits only grow by hardship. Every difficulty is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, sharper. So stop asking life to be easier. Ask for the strength to handle it. Stop fearing hardship. Start embracing it, because the man who embraces hardship is the man who cannot be broken. Hardship is not here to destroy you. It is here to prepare you. Embrace it, and you will become undefeatable. The final step in becoming undefeatable is this: learn to find strength in silence. The world today is loud. Everyone is shouting, complaining, comparing, arguing. People waste their energy proving themselves to others, defending their ego, seeking validation, and in all that noise, they lose their power. But the Stoics taught a different way. They knew that silence is not weakness, it is strength. Silence is not emptiness, it is power, because the man who can remain calm, steady, and silent when others are losing control is the man who cannot be defeated. Think about it. When someone insults you, what do they expect? They expect rage. They expect you to lose control, but if you stay silent, you rob them of their power. When life throws chaos at you, what does it expect? That you panic, complain, and collapse. But if you stay calm, if you stay composed, life cannot touch you. Silence is your shield. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." Why? Because silence shows mastery. It proves that you are not a slave to emotions, not a puppet to other people's actions. The undefeatable man does not need to shout to prove his strength. His silence speaks louder than noise. Silence also creates clarity. In silence, you can think. In silence, you can reflect. In silence, you can see things as they are, not clouded by impulse or emotion. Most men act without thinking. They react instantly, and they regret later. But the Stoic pauses. He breathes. He reflects. And then he acts with wisdom. That pause, that silence is what makes him powerful. The undefeatable man does not waste his time on gossip, on arguments, on meaningless noise. He saves his energy for what matters. He moves in silence. He builds in silence. He endures in silence. And when the time comes to act, his actions are louder than words. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of that suffering comes from the noise in our own heads, the endless chatter, the endless worry. But silence quiets the mind. Silence gives you peace. Silence gives you strength. And peace of mind is the ultimate weapon, because no one can steal it from you. Understand this. The undefeatable man does not need to announce who he is. He does not need applause, approval, or recognition. He is steady, unshakable, rooted in silence. His power comes not from noise, but from control. So practice the art of silence. When others complain, stay silent and work. When others argue, stay silent and focus. When life screams chaos, stay silent inside yourself. Because silence is not the absence of power, it is the presence of mastery. The man who can hold his silence can hold his strength. And the man who holds his strength cannot be broken.